Alright folks, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VIII. I'm the Mysterious JG, and we are face to face with, who you have probably already figured out, is the Omega weapon, and I do not appear to have remembered to have healed Renoa before starting this fight. We may come to regret that. Let's see if we can scan him before he kills whoever's trying to scan him. He killed someone other than the character who was trying to scan him, so we did get the scan off. Because yes, Ultima weapon does have an attack called Light Pillar that does 999 damage regardless of your defense. The strongest ultimate monster, it is said to be impossible to defeat. I think we're going to prove otherwise. I sure hope so anyway. But yeah, he does not have... he's got some powerful things that hit all, like what he's about to do here, Gravija. But I don't think we need to worry about him doing a full party wipe in one turn, which is the main thing I'd need to really worry about. Oh no, I didn't make us immune to Quake. This might actually do it. Quake's not going to do much damage, but I should have made us all immune to Quake. I didn't remember that he uses it. And he's fast as well. But Doom Train should help. I don't know how many things he's going to be hit by, but whatever they are, he'll get hit by all of them at once. And I forgot to set it up so that we could stock Ultima from him, which I had intended to do by giving other people Ultima magic. So I'm already kicking myself over a couple of things here that I meant to do differently. I meant to have everybody just have like a half stock Ultima so that we could get some free Ultima from fighting him. Instead, somebody's going to have to get Phoenix downed again. But at least once he's Phoenix downed, he'll be able to... Man, he's getting a lot of turns. I really hope slow is one of the things Doom Train does. Yeah, this is going worse than I thought it would, actually. I wasn't expecting to have this kind of difficulty until we got to Omega Weapon, because he just gets so many turns for every turn you get. Ah, fuck it. This isn't going to do real damage, and I've already screwed up the button press games enough times that I'm really getting tired of it. Should have made everyone immune to Quake. That would actually make this a lot easier, because the only thing that's going to be killing us is his shitty physical and possibly Meteor. But I did not make people immune to Quake, so that's a problem. The main thing is to mug him and to get eaten from him, which we should get to do at some point. Ah, screwed up the last one. That's okay, did some damage there. And that looks like it's going to miss against him anyway. Zell might die here, but he didn't, so that's good. Renzo Kuken. Might get to see Lionheart? No. So I'll try to keep Squall in critical. because it'd be nice to use Lionheart against him here. And Renault I'm going to try to use to actually mug him. Come on. Started hitting the button too much. I got 3 stars, so I don't need to worry about mugging him anymore. And I don't think I'm going to worry about refighting him to steal more Ultima. Oh. He's one of those big damage, not that many hit points super bosses. Like, he had me nervous with how often he was using that attack that he'd eventually get me into a position where I wasn't able to kind of control the battle and I was too busy staying alive. But yeah, he doesn't really have anything that's going to full wipe your party. If I had made myself to where I was completely immune to an absorbing quake, he actually would have been healing me with it. But I kind of forgot the full pantheon of spells he uses. Meteor is not really likely to kill you if you keep your health up at all. And Quake will actually heal you if you set your stuff up right. I don't know if the AI stops using Quake if you're absorbing Quake. But yeah, basically it's Light Pillar and Gravija always keeps you in trouble. But Omega Weapon will eventually combine that kind of ability to get your party in all critical at once and follow it up with attacks that actually will finish you off if you don't heal, making it a lot harder to just keep your party at critical so you're always throwing out high damage limit breaks. But no, that went fine. I'm a little annoyed that I forgot to... It would have prolonged the battle significantly, but I had planned to have everybody like dump a bunch of Ultima on one of the mules so that they could get Ultima from him, and we would have a big reserve of Ultima. But we've already got a bit of a reserve of Ultima, and I don't use it often. It is the best spell in the game, obviously, for junctioning purposes, being Ultima and all. 100 app. It's a shame that couldn't be applied to our new GF Eden. I think that's supposed to be its head. I don't even know that. There's like concept art of the full creature. We will see it using its junction, or its GF attack, and it's this big honking spaceship looking thing. I really don't know what the hell Eden is supposed to be, but it's got some pretty damn important things that we want. So let's take a look. It can give us only 1 magic spent while in triple, which is useful. What we really want is GF ability medicine refinement, because that is going to eventually segue into something that allows us to make permanent stat boost, like HP plus 10, strength plus 1, magic plus 1 type items. And Devour, which is already completed, is something we would need to... there are certain enemies, so if we get them into critical, the character with the Devour command can defeat them with a command that will also give them a permanent stat increase. So that's a thing. It's like find an enemy that gives you HP plus, and then get it down to like being almost defeated, like to where you could card it, and then have Irvine devour it, and suddenly Irvine's hit points perma increase, and that's a good thing. Who has the... Well, what does it actually come with? Otherwise, I should be... Just starts figuring out who to give it to. It has evade and speed, so I should give it to somebody who doesn't already have those. She already has everything. He does not have evade or luck. Everybody's already got speed, actually. I need to switch it up. Squall doesn't need hit percentage, so I could give that to whoever, you know. But we know he'll always be in the party, so I don't have to worry about making sure the person with Eden is equipped and Eden is leveling up if I give it a Squall. And he's got special Devour powers. I don't know if we've learned that yet, and it would come up here anyway. But I'm not going to mess with that for now. They always mess this up on me. There's no way to get it to tell them, hey, change everything else up, but leave this alone. They always mess around with this. And I don't like it. But with Tornado set to evade, we got a nice evade. If I was going to increase Squall, it looks like I would be needed to give him magic up, because his magic is not something we can get up to 255. But since he mostly does physical attacks anyway, I could probably manually go in and put Ultima on that. I'm thinking I could do that, and it would probably bring him up to 255, yeah. And then his magic could take something else that's high-end. Like we just took Meteor off of it. Yeah. That works. I could do a similar thing for... Actually, it would make sense for Zell to be the same setup, because I don't know if I'll be keeping Zell in the party. I might give it to somebody who wants a higher magic score than Zell, but never know. It's looking pretty good as is. I like her to have good magic score. Although, honestly, again, when I'm just grinding off screen, I'm not using magic too much. I'm usually just beating everything up. Oh, hold on. It almost seemed like that took it down. It did, because I screwed that up. I screwed her up. Let's go back to what they want, and then manually fix her status stuff to be what I want it to be. They really did weird stuff with her status that isn't what I wanted it to be. Oh, they got confused. No, never mind. Confused was where it was supposed to be. It was just down the list. Now when I get in here, switch this to Ultima. I did Vitality by mistake and got myself all confused. And then if we put this on Meteor, it's 194, which is probably the highest we're going to get other than Ultima. Well, triple would be better, but it would mess up her speed. And Ultima would be better, and actually Pain would be slightly better too, but I'm good with this setup. And now watch me kick her out of the party. No, I'm not doing that, actually. I want her in the party so that we can occasionally get Angela's search. And what would have been damn useful there, although it never... We didn't really... That fight didn't last. I was getting a little worried. That fight seemed like it was getting pretty difficult, but... yeah. Wishing Star, once we've got that, will be a nice thing to use against the big bully bosses like that. There were other magics. I had to use Karaga a couple of times, as I recall. Let's top up with our good friend Irvine will help us stay on top of that. Anything else I had to use? Scan. We did mug it to get 3-star. He never ended up using any magic. Unless he's the one who scanned it, he might have been. You had to use Karaga a couple times, so you can take advantage of our beloved friend Irvine. And actually, I didn't use as much magic as I thought, because I did use Regen at one point, but I ended up the thing that triggered me. Oh yeah, Regen would be good in a battle where I keep getting knocked down to near death, but not wiped out completely. And then it was like, oh yeah, I thought about that because it was a spell you could draw from him. So there you go, folks. Now that I've got all the GFs, I can off-screen places all I want, and I'm getting the most bang for my buck now because I don't have to worry about spending a whole lot of time off-screening and then not getting anything out of it anymore. Unfortunately, the encounters here are gone. At least the forced encounters are, and it looks like the random encounters are also gone. And that was the thing where the guides warn you, like, oh, you can get Eden on disc 4 if you really want to get all the GFs, but you should not get rid of all the great encounters you can get here for curse spikes and whatever. I think we've got all the dark matter we need, and if I'm proven wrong, there are other ways to get it. It's just not as convenient. You're not guaranteed the fight you want. You might have to, like, wade through several battles before the monster that you want appears. But we had two save spots at the same time. I just have to remember that the earlier of those 2 times is the one where we haven't already wiped out the enemies here. And I also went and figured out why I couldn't encounter that UFO. And it was because I went to the place where you have the last encounter, where you need all the other encounters first. And I didn't actually mean to do that. But there's one last, like, encounter you got to get before you unlock the last encounter with a UFO. And I've already had several that I had to tell you about. Oh, yeah, we encountered it in the desert, and it was carrying a pyramid. Sorry. You guys can there's YouTube videos out there where you can see all of the UFO encounters from this game. But this is one where it was carrying a moe head. I think you guys saw the one where it was carrying a cow. I know you've seen at least one on screen. But now I have to climb back up this pillar, and I don't know exactly what point I'm supposed to touch. There we go. It's going to want me to touch it at exactly the right place, in exactly the right special way that this pleasure pillar requires. Sorry, I meant to say that we'll give this pillar pleasure, and it came out as a pleasure pillar. Alright. Good stuff. I'm going to take off the 3x speed, because Ragnarok flying around looks pretty cool even without you doing that, so I want it to actually look the way it's supposed to look. There's a few things I could do. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put it on 3x speed, even though I just said I wasn't going to do that. I'll take you to the 2 leveling up places that I'm familiar with. It might take me a second to actually find them, because I haven't used them yet in game. They're not available until after you've they're not available until after you've gotten Ragnarok. This is not it. VIII Archipelago is not it. So I think they were grouped right next to each other. This might be one of them. Island closest to heaven, indeed. So now, there's an island. This game has 2 places where the monsters are all guaranteed to be level 100. You can't access them without the Ragnarok. They exist for power leveling purposes. They have high-end random monsters at level 100. Ochu is probably the weakest thing we can possibly encounter here. I'm not sure that it's even... we should be mugging this thing or letting an item drop, but... But we can also... oh, see, Ochu is like the weakest thing. I'm really surprised we encountered an Ochu. But there are enemies here along the lines of like Marlboros and Ruby Dragons, and I think those tri-face creatures are a low encounter rate monster here. Who has the spot hidden thingies ability? Not you. Move find. Because I think there's supposed to be... although maybe this doesn't work in the overworld, but I think there's supposed to be hidden draw points on these islands too. I suppose if I just wanted to show that off, I could shut off encounters, even though that's the whole point. An aura draw point. That's pretty good. Quake draw point. Tornado. I probably landed on whatever one this is, so I might not be able to get it. Yep. Okay, but yeah, this is and one other island that is similar. It's called Island Closest to Hell. I'll have to check out what the encounters are on each one and which one's better to grind on. But yeah, these are places where I might be off-screening and just fighting monsters to gain ability points for the GFs and levels for the GFs. Make them a little more resilient. Omega Weapon may in fact wipe out our GFs while I'm trying to summon them. So I could give a little bit of aura to Somebody had some aura, yeah. What if I were to give... Not all. I didn't mean all, but actually all will work fine, because I'll just get it back after I've drawn a little bit. 3. Well, that was kind of not that impressive, was it? That being said, I don't think you have... No, you are in the party. That's why you have it. Selfie doesn't have any. Kitus is the only one we've got. But 28 is not a bad backup stockpile for a spell I'm only planning to use if I get in trouble. Or against big-time bosses. So this may be the island closest to Hell right here. Heaven and Hell are apparently pretty close together because the islands as closest to either of them are right next to each other. No, this is just Rem Archipelago. Interesting. So bear that in mind. Island closest to Heaven is there. Island closest to Hell. I don't know if it's that tiny little one there. Interesting. What is the island closest to Hell? Maybe it's not part of this chain after all. The Heath Peninsula. I think this is where I have to go to actually get that last alien encounter. Maybe that's what we should be doing with this time instead. So there's the island closest to Heaven. The island closest to Hell might be somewhere else on the map. I'll have to figure out later. I remember them being close to each other, but I could be entirely wrong. The War Peninsula. Heath Peninsula. Let me double check this. I think this is where the last UFO encounter is, so maybe we can check that out together as a family. As a team, as it were. Yeah, Heath Peninsula. Okay. So if I shut off my no encounters, we might just spend the last few minutes of the video trying to lower our seed score, or possibly raise it. I think that was the same. Fighting Mesmerize. And she is now just as evil. Having used death magic on a unicorn, she is now as evil as Lord Voldemort, so... Way to pick your girlfriend there, Squall. Alright, let's get rid of his move find, because it doesn't seem to do anything in the overworld, which makes... I guess that makes sense. We'll set him back to Mug, because I think most of the enemies that we would be grinding against we would want to Mug. I don't know how many of these encounters we're going to have. This is the encounter that I don't remember having seen, where it's carrying around a crop circle, according to the guide I'm reading. But, it's possible that we already got this and I forgot. But in that case, the place where we were running around encountering random monsters before, right above the Chocobo Holy Land, is where our next encounter should be. They mention an island, but I'm pretty sure you are supposed to be on the peninsula and you can see it flying over the island. And that would be the island. Oh, maybe I shouldn't be on the beach. Maybe that will always cause me to encounter fish. It is the Heath Peninsula, though. Ah, get off the beach! It'd be pretty cool if I suddenly decide to bust out Lionheart for the first time in this LP against fish. Well, within the GF ability, blah blah. That'll be a big deal once I'm into my off-screening, because I'll have to figure out what items do I need to grind for or purchase to use that. luck plus 50%. I guess I'll work on next. That'll take a while. This is still Heath Peninsula here. Yeah, the annoying thing about this is I've seen so many of these off-screen where I was fighting someplace I didn't know was an encounter area for this UFO quest, and then felt bad because I didn't want to go re-record when I didn't know how long it would take for it to respawn and how many times, how many, you know, good AP points I'd be throwing away by backtracking at that point. Stole some mystery fluids. That's wonderful. That's some, like, Final Fantasy 13 level weapon grinding kind of stuff right there. A single bite bug. Pull out the Lionheart. Yeah, video's over unless I encounter this UFO. There's nothing else interesting is going to happen. I just keep waiting to get that encounter. So it's been so long since we've had one on screen. I thought it would be a fun little way to end the Ultima weapon battle video. The other thing to do is to land on that island, but I thought you were supposed to be on the peninsula. Let's see, as we're beating up this guy, I'll double check. Heath Peninsula. Heath Peninsula is in eastern Trabia, and the UFO is sighted on the small gray island east of the peninsula carrying a crop circle. So maybe I misunderstood. Maybe you do need to be on the island. I thought it was like sighted over the island, like you would see the island in the background, but your encounter was taking place on the peninsula. But that would appear to be wrong. I just dodged that guy puking on me. If an enemy sprays you with gastric juice, that means it threw up on you, basically. Oh, here we go. It's gonna happen right away. I guess that's a crop circle. Oh, I had it on 3 times speed. Boo, JG, boo. Why'd you do that? Boo, boo, queen of slime, queen of muck. Well, that's done. Now we should be able to encounter the main UFO. But there are exploits and stuff where this is another one where if you keep this encounter alive and don't finish the quest, you can exploit it for gain. If I could remember exactly where Chocobo Superforest is. Now, if we were to encounter an enemy running around here, it would likely be the UFO battle. But I believe we can encounter it and run away. I don't know why I'm doing this now. We'll save this for later. Alright, folks. I don't know what happened to that island closest to hell. I'll have to look that one up. Thought it was right in here with these, maybe it's not. It would make sense that it would be a different off-the-coast island in a different part of the map. If one of them is close to heaven and one of them is close to hell. So I'll just need to be looking for islands that you couldn't access without Ragnarok. I mean, there's plenty of them. Most of them have nothing special going on. We'll have side quests to do in Dalit. There was a side quest that's been available since Act 2 that we didn't do because the rewards were better in Act 3. Although I looked into what the rewards are, and they're not really life-changing in any act of the game. This is the Happy Shiny People Rem Archipelago. I read an article recently that REM doesn't like that song, which is sad. There's the island closest to hell. Huzzah. Let's see what kind of mischief we can get up to here, eh? Ah, you were kind of what I was hoping not to encounter, actually. Because it'll take a while to deal with you. So we've got slow paralysis, which you can get rid of. I lost my timing in the middle of that, but hey, Lionheart. First time seeing this against a level 100 Marlboro isn't too bad. We transport to outer space while beating it up. Just why wouldn't you? Will that be enough? Yeah. Lionheart's gonna kill pretty much all 9 non-boss enemies in one hit. Quite a few boss enemies in one hit too, but there's not that many bosses. At least the way I'm playing the game, you don't have that many bosses left once you finally busted that out. Alright, well, we're slightly over time now, but now that we're here, let's see what kind of cool flare, full life. I mean, no, don't give all. Split. Again, probably not worth the effort there, but we'll build up a little supply for our mules to keep for us. This was flare. Woo! Not getting a lot each time. Arguably not worth the time I'm taking to do it, but having a couple in reserve means that I might encounter a point where I've got triple applied and I just want to throw down a decent spell. For example, like right now, triple just showed up. I've already got a triple mule. Actually got more than 3. That seems like a miracle. Flare. Ugh, I just did flare. That video's over, folks. You can go home anytime. I'm gonna go around the ring of the island one time, see what kind of stuff is available. Oh, we got a little flare on you too, huh? Probably combine those into one stack. Full life again. Let's do that real quick. Titus picks him up. I don't think you have full life or anything like that, but just trying to maximize our resources here. Was that Meteor? Yeah. Meteor is barely even worth it. I'm pretty sure I got a Meteor stockpile on somebody already. But, hey, it's free to grab. Yeah, you've got 100 Meteor. I'm not even going to bother. I don't think we're getting through 100 extra Meteor. Holy, on the other hand, is a little different. Holy is one that I might want to use. And I don't think we've got anybody with a whole 100 stockpile of Holy who's like just carrying it. We've got 15 on Irvine. And he'll now have 19 once I get around to finishing this up. Flare. I knew there's a reason I didn't re-equip it on her. Aura. I didn't re-equip it on her. I re-equipped it on her. I shouldn't have bothered. He cannot carry anymore. He is overburdened. Meteor, not going to bother with. I hadn't cleared it yet. Triple. I've actually got quite a few triples. What was that one? Triple again, because I didn't actually clear it. What was that? Meteor. Good spell. I've already got enough of that. Ultima, always worth drawing. I believe Irvine has a stock of Ultima going. If I get more than 10, I'll kick myself that I didn't set it up better. Well, there you go, folks. Took advantage of that as best as I could. I gotta figure out which mules had what for Sister Sarah. So we got 8 full lives in reserve. That's not a lot, but it's more than 0. 22 holies in reserve. That's better. So we'll need to make some more full lives. I believe I can do that, actually, fairly easily. Couple of flares in reserve. $46 Ultimas in reserve, not bad. 35 ores in reserve, not bad. And I know somebody must be carrying around a few extra scans, because for a long time that's been one where I was like consistently using it and then wanted to, even though I'm not junctioning it to anything, it's like, oh, it feels weird to see a non-100 number in my spell list. Nope. Take all. Thank you. Irvine's getting a little sick of carrying around everybody's magic, but hey, it's the price he pays for being a creeper. You want to creep around behind all the pretty girls, you're going to have to carry their magic. It's like carrying their school books. Alright, and you got to carry Squall school books too. Okay guys, there we are. So I'm now ready for whatever off-screening I feel like doing, as far as I can now get. I've got all the skills necessary to refine different items, which means that every conceivable recipe to get to like long-term stat boost items is available. So I may or may not play around with that off screen. As you saw, I was initially like worried, oh, Ultima weapon's getting a lot of turns, but pretty quickly start like hitting with some power hits from these fully leveled up characters didn't take long. And Omega Weapon I've seen similar, like the videos on how to beat Omega Weapon, the like pro strats, you beat him in less than 5 minutes if you just go into something where you keep exactly enough life to survive his attacks and just hit him hard with like the highest end. It's a similar battle, it's just more challenging to make sure he doesn't actually kill you. And we got an item in that fight with Omega Weapon by mugging him that I don't remember if we already had one in our inventory. We can tell easily enough this way. We did not. We could mod a card to get this. But the 3 stars item, unless I'm highly confused, it said GF learns expend ×3 ability. Unless I'm really confused, I thought, oh, 3 stars is different. Never mind, it's the hero trial. That's what it's called. I might be able to make that out of 3 stars. Somewhere in the game we gotten these hero items. They're for use in battle, so they'll be grayed out here, I think. never mind. That item doesn't do what I thought it did, but we didn't have one already, so I'm glad we got it. Because you can also get 100 Ultima stones as they drop from Ultima weapon, but we have Ultima, so whatever. Strength Love, Amnesia Greens. Holy War makes all party members invincible. We only have one, but if we wanted a cheap win over Omega Weapon, that's how you would do it. It doesn't last forever, but it gives you several turns of nothing damages you, which should be enough for you to get some aura cast on everybody, bust out a whole bunch of high-end limit breaks, fuck this shit up pretty good. Anyway, I'm the Serious JG. Thanks for watching. Don't know exactly how much off-screening I'm going to do before the next video, but I will definitely be doing some off-screening before the next video, which will consist probably of silly side quests, like we've got to go do that side quest with that little kid. So there's this whole little family unit. You've got the Queen of Cards, and we met her dad, and I don't know if it's her nephew or her little brother, but there's this old man who paints the cards, and the kid keeps coming in and painting a bone. You might remember that from like a billion videos ago. We can go do that quest where we go look at the paintings where there's a bone in the painting and find where this kid has put some kind of treasure that he has marked on a painting with a bone. Then we have to go losing specific cards to the Queen of Hearts, who will give them to her father, who will paint new cards. And then we win the new card from the Queen of Hearts, and we have to find a specific place in the world to win back the card that we lost to her. This is far, far easier with a FAQ, where you can actually figure out exactly who you're playing. You'll get hints about what region the card player is in, but with a FAQ and Ragnarok, it should not be anywhere near as painful as it would have been earlier in the game using the Balam Garden to navigate around. And off the top of my head, that's the only two quests I can think of we still need to do. Well, and we need to encounter the UFO one last time and wrap up that quest, because that also leads to a unique card that you can't get any other way. So the next couple of videos will probably, honestly, be devoted to me finishing the Triple Triad card deck. And if you have no interest in that, I completely understand. But after that, we'll have some plot and dialogue stuff that takes place at the orphanage, I believe. But I'm pretty sure that all that plot and dialogue is just going to do is point us to go to Lunatic Pandora, which is the point of no return for Chapter 3. That takes us into Disc/Chapter 4, which is basically one big, long dungeon, and at the end of it is the end of the game. So, all that is to come. Hope you're enjoying the LP. I know I am, and I'll catch you guys next time.